All right. What's up, everybody? We are here with a highly recommended series that came to me with no context. And I'm going in blind. It is Dark in the bottom right. One of the craziest spellcaster users, best comeback Zergs, one of the most exciting players that you guys know I rave about him because he's not got the most perfect early game. He makes a lot of weird, inefficient choices, but he is so hard to kill. He makes so many comebacks and so many sick, fun, action-packed games. But what's interesting is he's up against what? ASTREA. This is ASTREA, but he's doing a 2-gate build. Okay, Alpha X ASTREA in the top left, who's going 2 gateways and a Cybercore on the natural. So he's going to be doing Nexus into chronoing 2 Adepts across this map. Notice he stopped at 19 supply. He's not building more probes, and the reason for that is because otherwise he'll get supply blocked. Because he's going to go Nexus, Adept, and then Pylon, and only start building probes after that Pylon. Oh, wow. He doesn't quite have enough gas. Okay, no, so he does start the Pylon, then the Adepts. Okay, this makes sense. So, because the thing is, the Cybercore is not ready yet, right? He needs to wait for that. So he's going to do a really early Adept pressure and maybe find some sick damage. I'm curious, because this is going to be just aggressive play flowing from the very start of the game. And check it out, the Pylon finishes, and he can resume probe production. Very cool. He's now pulled off minerals onto gas a little bit more as well. And he'll drop a second gas, a third Pylon, no doubt. And I wonder, do we see a Twilight Council to follow up these Adepts? Do we see 4 Adepts even? What's he going to go for here? I just saw some more gas get chewed up. I guess that was Warp Gate research. 2 Adepts shading across this map. No third base for Dark. Now, I would argue the trick here is making sure you sneak a drone out so that he can't deny your third. Dark? There we go. Yeah, you got to get this drone out there before those Adepts get in. Make sure they don't catch it, because once they're out there, it's a long time till link speed's finished. He might have to run his drones away. His first 2 queens are out, but oh my god, these drones need to run. Okay. Run! Ring around the hatchery, pocket full of Adepts. It preemptively does the extractor trick, but he's losing 2 drones. Dude, this is a crisp build from ASTREA. And his Adept pops out at home just in time. Oh, very cool build. And now keep in mind, this is a massively delayed Nexus. There is a 3rd hatchery on the way, right? So Zerg's going to 3 base. Your natural is only now up. And he's building more Adepts 2 at a time. Still no tech, still only on 1 gas. Oh, if he sneaks a probe out right now, he could do a really dirty gateway all in. Now, these Adepts shading in, but there's not many drones, so it'd be very dangerous to commit to that. Very dangerous is my middle name, says Max ASTREA Angel. And he recalls both Adepts out. The Queen should have targeted that Reddit point one. Dark, suffering 4 drones and 4 Zerglings. ASTREA has not lost a single unit, guys. This is a 6 start for him. I think he might be going straight for a 3rd base. He's still on 1 gas. Because he hasn't snuck a probe out, he hasn't gone for a gateway explosion. So I think he's going to go for a 3rd base really early. He's got the minerals for it. What's he waiting for? He goes double gas. I mean, he's got a lot of minerals. Is he going to go for an 8 Adept pressure with no glaives? He is, isn't he? Oh my god, you sicko. 8 Adepts leaving the base at 4 minutes after this starts. This is a very... And he's mind opened those minerals there. So he's just going to shade through the middle, get a very early attack going. Okay, it's going to be 7 Adepts because he wanted to leave 1 in the wall just in case some speedlings run in. It is Dark after all. Very scary player. He's going to be attacking there. 3rd base was taken on the top, so I think he maybe should have come from that angle just to, isolate any drones on that base. But he's just going to dive in. Now, these lings are there. Does he commit? He cancels it. And I think this is enough. Because what does he do? Notice that there's only 34 drones versus 37 probes. So just by showing this pressure, he's forcing mass lings out of Dark. And the trick here is now just don't overcommit. Shade backwards for insurance. You've forced a lot of defense. You've made him build 5 Overlords before going back to any drones here. Snipes a Creep Tumor as well. And he's like, that's cool. I'll just go back now. He drops a Stargate, a very late Stargate. So I think he's going to go Void Ray 3rd base. But still no 3rd. He's going to go double Stargate off the back of this. So he's going... interestingly, and he's still building Adepts right now. Oh, I think the transition's a little slow. Up until this point, I've loved what ASTREA is doing, but I think Dark has handled it okay. He's building a few roaches right now. He does have a 2nd gas coming in. It looks like he'd like to do a Ravager Ling attack. He's now droning up. 3rd base goes down here at 5 minutes for ASTREA. Dark, very useful information. He'll see that. But a lot of Adepts coming forward. You know what? I think he has plenty of units, guys. 8 Roaches, 21 Zerglings. Easy stops these Adepts because these Adepts don't even have glaives. So even though there is a solid 12 Adepts, this is just a scare force. And he actually should focus on keeping them alive. He knows there's lots of Zerglings. He sees lots of Roaches. ASTREA will cancel all but 2 of these. And oh, he actually continues, but he messes it up. Only gets 1 in there. The other Adept derped there. So that was a bit lazy, guys. That you could tell what he did was he basically shift-clicked 2 and then pressed cancel. So he didn't realize that one of the adepts that was a straggler continued to shade forwards. Now he's going, oh, 2-star Phoenix. Oh, I like this so much more than Void Rays. Since the Void Rays are more expensive, I was like, I don't really like it that much. Now he does hit a slight supply block here, about 10 seconds, bit of a bummer. But he's going to reveal this at like 7, 8, maybe 9 Phoenix, and he's going to run across, kill the Overlords, pick up drones, queens, do heaps of damage, and Dark is trailing on economy already. Now, this looks like it might even just be a checkmate. And the reason for this is from the Zerg perspective, you need to have a big amount of economy in order to absorb this sort of damage. You need a large economy. Now look at that. Oh, Dark a little slow there, and actually gets 1, 2, 3 maybe? No, just 2 drones for those 2 adepts, so good defense by Dark, good enough. But as I said, you need a lot of drones. Why? Because you're going to lose Overlords 100%. These Overlords will go down. You're going to lose drones. You're going to lose queens. You're going to lose a lot of minerals. Also, every time you build a Spore Crawler, guess what, guys? Spore Crawler is you killing a drone. Not to mention 75 more minerals. So you need a lot of economy in order to absorb the damage that's going to come out of these Phoenix. Now, if it wasn't for that supply block, I think this would have hit like a brick shithouse. As it is, ASTREA is still going to rock up with 8 Phoenix. He's still warping in Adepts. I don't know about the Adepts with no glaives, guys. Maybe that works out if he can pick up the Roaches, I guess, with the Phoenix. But for now, the Phoenix coming across the map, they will grab 1 Overlord as they fly past. The Queen's looking mighty exposed right now. He goes straight for the Roaches. The Queens will be next on his list. He picks up the Transfused Queen as well as the other one. Will he be able to get this Queen before it drops? It does take it out. Very nice. Yeah, these Queens are toast, guys. Now the Zerglings are going to go for a counterattack. Adepts plus shield batteries should be able to defend all of that. His Phoenix are going to get out of control, man. Yes, the Spore will come up, but not before a lot of drones go down. The Natural does look a little exposed, though. So the Adepts are going to have to come over to try and defend that. He's going to have to shade into his own Natural, I think, to defend this. Yeah. Uh-oh. Ling's in the main. Ling's in the main, and the Natural. Dark is in. And Dark, when he is in, it is a very scary time for a Protoss player. No, he's going to lose quite a few probes here. Ling's in the Natural and the main base at the same time. But the Adept Warpings are good. The Phoenix are doing way more damage on the other side of the map. Dude, okay, no. I was like, he's going to lose a lot of probes. Oh, here we go. Okay, finally. The Roaches do get in there. Quick, need to heal that pylon, need to heal the pylon, but he's distracted by the Phoenix right now. Oh no, both batteries get depowered. He's going to lose at least 7 or 8 probes cleaning that up. The Lings run back in the main base. Oh my god, this Adept should clean this up. Yeah, finally he's going to clean it up. His Adepts will shade back to the front. Roach is happy to fight these non-glaive Adepts. Even though they're outnumbered, they're like, well, we kind of counter you as a unit. So, super outnumbered though, so the Adepts will chase them down. Phoenix still doing big damage. They got to keep hunting down these Overlords if they can. Oh, that's the booty. That's the prime booty. But the Corruptors are out. Corruptors, a desperation unit to push back the Phoenix here. However, keep in mind, guys, they could counter ASTREA by pissing on his buildings. And I know that sounds silly, but I'm serious about it. I'm 100% serious. They could piss down on his Nexus because he has nothing that shoots up except the Phoenix. He's going to try and go Void Rays, air upgrades, and just overwhelm them with numbers, which, hey, he's up in supply. He should be able to do that. Look at that. They get another Phoenix snipe. 15 Corruptors versus 11 Phoenix. He's going to need more Void Rays and batteries to help defend this. Pylon going up on the 3rd base will help out. A few Stalkers as well. Just going to add some damage. Now, these Adepts, you don't want to throw them away. And the problem is that the Roaches on the ground will dominate his ground army. Corruptors coming in. Oh, Phoenix. Force him to break. But look at that. He's got enough Corruptors to one-shot a Phoenix. That's very frightening for ASTREA right now. He's got to get these Stalkers over here to push those back, and I really wish he was already in ground play. The drones running around in circles for Dark right now. Oh, he's going to take some damage though. If ASTREA focus fires the drones, he should be able to kill a lot of them. He's going to kill a lot of these workers. He's already up about 15 workers in this game. If he had a 4th base, he'd be miles ahead, but even 3 base first, the Zerg's 4. Guess what? The 4th base unable to be used by Dark. Dark is making just Roach upgrades, Corruptor upgrades, and it looks like a Blink transition is what ASTREA is going to go for. Blink +1. Mass Gateway. He's going up to 8 gateways. I mean, that's perfect, right? Corruptors can't shoot down. Blink Stalkers will be great. The Phoenix can go around and just be used as a harassment squad. And as long as you have enough Stalkers to defend, you're in a great spot. Now, he does go Mass Cannon Battery. He's aware that Dark might just try to throw a big Corruptor roll in at him. Corruptor's not a unit that scales well, so he's building a crazy amount of defense. I do think he needs to get a 4th base up because that's going to force Dark to go all in. Dark cannot handle a 4-base Protoss from this position. It's a lot of drones going down, dude. Dark's economy is just being shat on from start to finish. 47 drones have gone down. And what was that? 1 or 2 Phoenix? I think it was 2 Phoenix. 1 from the Spore, 1 from the Corruptors. For 17 drones. That is such a good trade for ASTREA. He's queued these guys to get out of there. The Void Ray Stalker! Oh no, Dark not watching. Luckily for him, there's no blink ready yet, but still losing a bunch more Corruptors. Adepts ready to shade into this base as well. Now, where's that fourth base for ASTREA? That's what he's really sleeping on right now because his main massively oversaturated, third oversaturated, natural oversaturated. That's what he's missing. His economy would be so far ahead if he had that fourth up. There we go. Now he drops it. So that is the one thing that he's been dragging the chain on. Now, I think, honestly, he could also get more Stalkers as well, more gateways. Just keep making Stalkers, and he should go for a big push probably right about now. He actually is on 18 Stalkers versus 10 Roaches. Dark's trying to just make Queens, Roaches, anything he can do to survive. Maybe a Guardian Shield would help as well, but honestly, I think Dark's dead. ASTREA with a very creative build order. This is really cool to see. He's gone up to that fourth base now. This was double Adept pressure. Into more Adepts, into more Adepts, into more Adepts, into 2 Stargate Phoenix, into more Adepts, into more Adepts. Remember, Glaives never got made. Glaives apparently is an overrated upgrade. ASTREA shows what you can do even without it. 2 drones go down. Looks like the Adepts shaded in on that third. Cleaning up all this map control. He's taken a long time to fight, though. Now, I think that's probably okay because you can max out, but if you're taking this long, you might as well be going Robo Bay as well, right? So ASTREA is just going for a blink all in right now. I mean, that should still win the game. Roaches and Ravagers can't fight efficiently enough, right? Just mass Stalkers should beat mass Roach pretty handily. Yeah, I think Dark's dead, guys. I don't see how he possibly defends this. He's up in upgrades. He's got +2. And it's only +1 for ASTREA, but ASTREA has blink. Picks off a bunch of the Queens. He's now going to pull back a little bit. Yeah, good idea to just blink away here, but he's still way ahead. He doesn't want to fight on creep, which is why he's being very cautious. ASTREA's pulling back up that ramp. He's now going to blink forward, though. He changes his mind. He's like, screw it, let's go. That's actually not that many Roaches. He's going to go for it. Dark does not have that many units. Remember, Roaches are way cheaper than Stalkers, but ASTREA, he gets all the Queens. He gets a lot of these Roaches, and he is pushing in for the win right now. He's got the superior army with the blink. Now, he has kept using blink aggressively, which means, obviously, whenever he doesn't have blink ready and available, his units are much weaker versus the Roaches. You want to kind of move forward and use it more defensively. The Phoenix come in. They do not find much down there. Stalker's still roaming around very aggressively. He's got an observer. It's over here, just off to the left. So if he can pick off this creep, rotate down to this side, that would be very nice for him. Fourth base is up and mining quite healthily. Could transfer some more workers to it, though. And like I said, he could continue just blossoming out of control. If he goes for, like, Disruptors, there's no answer to that for Dark. Dark is like, just survive with Roach Ravager. Dark's very effing good at surviving, though, isn't he? ASTREA pushing forward. He's going to go blink forward. A crazy blink forward. The Void Rays march on. He turns on Prismatic Alignment, but look, more Biles coming down. He does dodge it, though. The Biles actually land on some of his own Roaches and Ravagers. The Stalkers blinking in like that was just a crazy move, though. And ASTREA did not need to shove like that. That was a very bad blink forward. All he needed to do was initiate the fight and then get out of there. Biles still not hitting, though. The Void Rays did do some damage. That was a really bad fight for ASTREA. The Phoenix is still doing damage on the south side. And the thing is, guys, Dark is literally just in survival mode making Roach Ravager, and he is the best player in the world at just surviving with Roach Ravager. Him and Raynor are 2 guys who, if they realize their only goal is just survive, even like that, a testy pop in their voice. They're so friggin' nervous about how bad their spot is. They will knuckle down and do it better than anybody else. And oh, Corruptor P! He's trying to heal with the battery overcharge, but Corruptor P does so much damage. Not enough, though. Great save. The Corruptors are now gone. Takes advantage of it, though. The Roach Ravager pushes the front at the same time. Phoenix picking up the Queens on the backside will do some very nice damage. But the fourth base is going to go down. Stalker's going to try to get up there to defend. I think if ASTREA took this 5th down here, it would have been able to be up and mining right now, and he could just transfer the workers there. Roaches attacking into these units is very bad for Dark. You do not want to attack into the static. Dark, a bit overextended there. It does even eat a few of his own Biles. The Phoenix picking off Overlords, but Dark is so far oversupply, it doesn't really matter right now. He's going to try and go Pathogen Glands. He's still on a totally shitty composition that will not get better with time. ASTREA here, he's gone back to Phoenix production right now. Wow, he's realizing they're getting so much value. He's like, hey, why not, dude? This way I can pick up these Ravagers. He ends up biling his own Ravagers down, trying to get the Phoenix. Wow, this is actually really sick. ASTREA trying to just pick up units, and he's killing them so quickly that he dodges the reactive Biles that are coming down. Dark trying to pull off some big brain maneuvers. He's only got 2 Corruptors and 1 Queen as his only mobile units that shoot up. These Phoenix have been so grossly efficient, but it's the Stalker fights which have let ASTREA down. He's got to just do an A move and blink back. I know that sounds really simplistic, me criticizing his micro, but if he just A moves and then blink back, yeah, even there, he could have stood and fought, you know, a little bit longer. The biles make it very hard, so he kind of needs to keep the multi-prong, which he's doing a great job of, by the way. But yeah, this base is looking very exposed. Where's his robo transition, though? He's still on mass stalkers. I know he wants to have a big enough army to always fight here, but he's not getting better upgrades. Dark is on 2-1 versus just +2. Yes, you've killed his 5th base. He's back on 4 bases, and they are starting to mine low. This base pretty fresh, but this base running out of resources. This base is getting super low. Main is completely mined out of minerals, about to be mined out of gas. At the same time, where's the transition from ASTREA? Where's the 5th base? There we go, but where's the robo? He's going to go Storm. Okay, that works. Storm will be valuable enough, especially against Ravagers, as they have 25 less hit points than Roaches. Storm's pretty darn good against that. Now, Dark is going to go 7 Infestors with this giant gas bank. He's like, I'll get Neural as well, and maybe that'll help. Maybe I can Neural some units later on. If you go Colossus or whatever, maybe I steal a Disruptor and friendly fire you. Storm and Feedback would be very good against that, though. Hive, Hydra Den. So he's going to go Lurkers as well. Interesting. So he's going to go Roach, Ravager, Infestor into Lurkers and just try to survive here. This Phoenix, of course, more than a match for the Corruptors, but... Oh, he sees the Infestors. Does cop a pretty big fungal, though. 4 Phoenix will be going down there. Oh, no, one of them escapes. And another one, actually, as well. Oh! Okay, so only loses a few Phoenix there. Does get a Corruptor snipe with his Stalkers. Nicely done. This army is way better for ASTREA, I would argue, but he should be spreading out right now. He's way too clumped up. The micro from the smaller battles, where staying clumped is the norm, he's got to fix that up now. He's going to go for a lift on a bunch of the Infestors, and he shoves forward. He eats some big biles. He does get some storms down, but they weren't quite as juicy as he was looking for. He's got to spread against the fungal. The fungal bile combo's landing! Dude, ASTREA's really, he's spent so many storms already. He's about to get second storms on these, but he doesn't quite have it just yet. And the biles are landing across his battle line. ASTREA needs to do more spreading and A-moving. You notice how he keeps clumping his army up with his micro? So that's the mistake he's making in this situation. It's such an unfamiliar situation. He's like, how do I micro this scenario, dude? And well, obviously the answer is, you're not meant to be clumping up against fungal bile. This army is so fragile. He could blink on it and kill this whole army right now. There's only 13 Ravagers. The Roaches are coming out now, so obviously he can't chase it down. But he actually, if he spread out there and just A-moved, he could have taken it out. And this is actually ASTREA against the fungal bile especially, needs to stop clumping up in a ball like this. He's got to be very cautious. He's got a lot of bases. He's got a lot of economy. Still no Infestor, no Disruptor transition. Oh! He steals it! And he goes for the feedback there, but it was not the highest energy Templar. He does steal a high Templar. ASTREA's got an Observer on the way. This Observer on the right side, though, is there. He's running away now because he's like, oh shit, you can steal all my High Templar. And Dark there is like, hey, why are you hitting yourself? But no, the fungal on the High Templar, and he snipes them all. He sniped all the High Templar. And now he's got mass fungal bile. Dark coming out with the like, what can I possibly build to stay alive in this game composition? And yet he's actually kicking ASTREA's ass in his last few fights. Look at this massive bile fungal line. Doesn't take out any Stalkers, but damages a lot of them. And he's catching so many probes down here. Units lost tab in the top left has evened out. That big 5,000 resource advantage has disappeared. The Roach Ravager fungal combo, very tough for this basic army of ASTREA to deal with. Disruptors would just be so golden against this. I really think he needs to go for them. Stalker Runby is going to go in, kill a few drones, but... Oh, he blinks on top, but there's no storm. There's no storm backing this up. ASTREA is going to try and shove forward. The numbers are pretty bad for Dark, but with the fungals and the biles landing, can Dark make this okay? The fungals are doing so much damage. They do 30 damage over 4 seconds a pop. He's chaining him, but he is losing so many valuable units. ASTREA finally cleans this army up. If he hunts down all the Infestors, which he will, that is worth it. And this is what I was saying about even though Dark is getting some good shit, dude, even though he was getting some good trades, his army is so fragile because the Infestors don't do that much damage. There's not that many other units. But he did just damage ASTREA's income massively. And ASTREA goes from being in that big, overwhelming economy position to what? He's trying to transfer workers off his natural up there. ASTREA's trying to rebuild probes to that big economy lead. He doesn't have the momentum lead anymore. And he's got to rebuild that High Templar count. Now it's just Roach Ravagers. He's going Hydras, Lurkers. That upgrade tab is out of this world for Dark right now. He's trying to go Adaptive Talons and Seismic Spines. He's trying to get Tunneling Claws. He's trying to get Hydra upgrades. Dark apparently saying, hey, look, I can just defend for a while and survive. You're not going to be able to do much here. It does send a Stalker back to clean up the Overlord, but he misclicks it, does ASTREA, which means the Overlord still just sits there watching everything. Stalker's trying to deny a bit of creep spread. Man, this game, I definitely think ASTREA has taken a few very sloppy engagements, but it's such a weird situation that you have no reps in. It's understandable. Oh, Tunneling Claws. Is that going to get him? Guys, Tunneling Claws is done, but he's going to see it. Dark sees the army. ASTREA sees the army, sorry. Yep, Storms to kind of keep it back for a moment, but of course Tunneling Claws instantly regens that. Single guy runs in there. Cannons damage him, but they can't kill him. He can still pop up and be a nuisance. If he does pop up, of course ASTREA will jump on him, but without Observer right there, it's very annoying, man. So he cleans up this Roach with an Observer. He's got an Observer up here as well. He's got 5 High Templar now. He's taking a 6th base. 62 probes, and he's going to go Disruptors. Disruptors is absolutely crucial here. He's already got High Templar for feedbacking Vipers. This will be massive. Sorry guys, just clearing my throat once again. High Templar does get sniped up there. It looks like the Roach is doing pretty decent. Stalkers should be the better unit in these fights, but Dark is so scrappy with his micro. Makes the best of some bad situations. Lurk is unbreakable in this bottom side though. More Hydras coming out. +3 Carapace going to round out the upgrades. ASTREA is adding ground upgrade +1 now, but that means he's still trailing by 2 upgrades. And Dark on just 56 drones, or 59 drones, sorry. Slowly rebuilding that economy and preparing for a late game. Very, very slowly. I like this, pushing back the creep. I think a Warp Prism could actually be amazing right now. I think that's one piece that's missing. A Warp Prism in the main. Where's the Void Rays as well? He's forgotten about his Void Rays. He's got Phoenix just for map vision, but imagine if these Void Rays came out. They could be really big. They could come in and snipe at base maybe. There's only, what, 3 Queens? They're the only things that shoot up right now, so those Void Rays really could dominate the map and maybe do some big harassment. Disruptors looking to pick some units off here. Big booms, but good dodge. Dark only gets clipped by a single Disruptor on a single Lurker. Only one Lurker down on this left side. If he gets that Observer in range of the Lurker, that'd be big, but the Spores make this really hard. Oh, he sees it with the Pervert mode. Nicely done. Blinks forward. That means, oh, the Queen's trying to take out the Observer. Doesn't quite get it. Gets another Lurker there. Very well done. This is a really good play. I'm worried about Nidus when I'm actually winning this game right now, just because there's Overseers and Overlords scouting everything in ASTREA's base now. ASTREA does pull back from there. Remember, Stalker's pretty weak versus Lurkers. They both take massive damage from them, and I don't know where those 2 drones just died. They take massive damage from them, and they don't do that much damage, where Immortals are going to be much better at killing them. Disruptors, of course, are a pretty damn bullet unit, pun intended, to pick away at them and just drop those shots from afar. But now you got 2 Vipers, and now Dark has survived. He has survived into this situation, and this seems to be Dark's specialty. Honestly, I feel like the foreign Protoss players almost always get ahead versus Dark, and then they cannot finish him, and they kind of overcommit to some attacks at the wrong time or this or that, and he finds a way back in the game. And the thing is, man, I kind of feel like if you could take ASTREA or Showtime's early game, I'm like, would Trap be way better at just finishing that? Hell, would even Classic or Hero? I mean, obviously Classic and Hero aren't going to macro that well, but still. Storm does go down. Oh, Lurker's trying to go for a dive forward. Oh, it would have been nice if he got just one more Storm off there. There's no splash damage up here. The Viper is abducting an Immortal to its death. That base is going to go down. Get the probes out. Get them 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 out. No. They're queued up. Oh, no. They're queued up. Don't lose those probes. Okay. A few Stalkers go down, but most of the probes do get out. That base in the top right will be forfeit as well. A few more Stalkers aggroed forward and derping into their death. Does recall a few Disruptors here. He's going to start sending Zealots in on the south side, but dude, that's a lot of Lurkers. Zealots ain't going to take that out on their own. You would need a lot of other units there. Storm is going to help protect this. And nice balls. Oh, gets 2 Lurkers. Well done. Storm would be great there as well. And does drop 1 Psystorm. Gets a few Hydras. Lurkers definitely just going to encroach. If they can get the Robo Bay in that second Robo, that's going to be huge. He's going to try and use maybe the High Templar a little bit, but Nice march forward by Dark. He's finding territorial gains. Cannon and the battery will trade a little with these units, but he's got to rebuild the Robo, does ASTREA, and he's got to find a way to fight where he has the advantage. I think he's preparing for an attack in the bottom right now. That's where he's been warping in, but it's still not a big enough army. There's actually, Dark even expects it. He's like, okay, if you're not clearing this, I mean, I know what you're going to do. Storms, Hydras, the Void Rays finally get found by ASTREA. So that's actually kind of good that Dark's killing them because they were wasting supply and not doing anything. He goes too far forward with the disruptors. Sloppy, man. Sloppy plays from ASTREA here, and Dark is just winning the micro battle. He's now 1,000 resources ahead. That's a big turnaround in it. Big storm comes in. Another storm on the Hydras. Dark, very slow to spread. The Observer is not quite there, though. Some of them do siege up in range of the cannons, the lurkers. And actually, most of them do. Most of this army goes down. Oh, not a bad fight for ASTREA at the same time, though. Look at that. He pulled his whole army down, and Dark said, hey, I bet you're going to F2 to deal with that. And when you do, I'm going to shove on in. Disruptor balls coming in. Oh, big balls do land on Dark's face. But he's trying to get on top of the tech. He's got 2 lurkers in behind the 3rd. Cheeky bugger. And he's found the base in the top right. Long distance mining from there. The Stalker High Templar is going to try and push up the guts. Oh, nice Hydra spready. Good storms are going to come down on top of the drones and the Hydras to take him out. The Hydras, though, are trading out pretty well. Remember, 3-3 upgrades versus just 3-2 for the Protoss player. And I don't know if he's going to be able to break into Dark. Dark putting up a valiant defense here while messing with ASTREA's going to be another lurker. Oh no, he moves it down into the corner and it gets 18 kills. Oh, this is devastating damage. He's spreading lurkers onto all the production. Dark, the absolute wizard, never count him out. I'm telling you guys, he has so many tricks up his sleeve. It is an absolute gaping sleeve. It is like, Jesus, how many things can you fit in there? How does he always come back in these games? He was so effed for so long in this map. He had no idea how to deal with ASTREA's opening. But he just says, my name's Dark, and I will always claw my way back into every single game, no matter what. This is absolutely just deadly play by him, and we see in ASTREA that didn't make a Skytoss transition. He was stuck on way too many Stalkers and was not able to deal with these pushes from Dark. Dark just playing fantastically. This Lurker's causing a lot of havoc. And nice snipe on that one. He's slowly clearing the Lurkers out. One revelation at a time, but damn, it's awkward. It's inefficient, isn't it? Just for context, 39 damage a shot to armored units with the Lurker. Stalkers take so much damage, man. Gonna have to do another revelation on this Lurker. Finally clear that up. I mean, ASTREA's not dead. Oh, he gets the Lurker. That was pretty nice. He's not dead, and that's just specifically because of the fact that Dark's economy has been so shitty all game. Remember, Dark's like long distance mining in the top. He's got, this base is fresh. This base will be fresh when it's finished. This base is actually still mining pretty well. He's got actually very good income right now. I mean, ASTREA's though, he's got a base there and a base there that are doing just fine. He's cleared up the Lurkers in the main. What's his production though? 1 Robo, no Robo Bay, 6 gateways. He's got a Cyber Core. He can make, so basically he can make High Templar with Storm, Stalkers, Zealots, and Immortals. He can't make Disruptors right now. Good abduct, very good abduct there by Dark. The Lings kind of trade themselves though pretty inefficiently against the Stalkers to cover that abduct. And nice ball, does get 1 Lurker. Goodbye Viper, almost gets the second one, but doesn't quite get the shot off on that. Phoenix is still hanging in the top of this base. DT Shrine's going to come in for ASTREA. Now ASTREA, yeah, he's kind of got to, he's stuck here because he's trying to defend this base. He's going to go around with his Stalkers. But when he does that, can he defend? He's got a Phoenix, a few Stalkers, a few cannons, a battery. An extra battery would be real nice. He's trying to build a forge. He wants to build cannons here, but he can't right now. And Dark, when he sees this, he might shove forwards on this base. ASTREA's trying to get the jump on him in the north side of the map. Doesn't have an observer there just yet. No observer speed. That Lurker's going to buy him a lot of time, isn't it? Oh, this is kind of frustrating because that Lurker will do damage. Lurker spready plus mass Ling engage. The battery's not quite ready. The Disruptors go down. The cannons fall. That base will fall very quickly. Finally, the Observer arrives and he can get rid of the Lurkers, and he does, but he loses the Observer, which means any reinforcing Lurkers will be good. The Probes trapped in the corner of this map. They get surrounded. That base goes down. The drones there are just they're going to burrow, so they can't actually be found. ASTREA, this is his only mining base right now. He's only got Stalkers to defend, and I think it's past time where the Stalkers should have been retired in this match. I mean, I get they're more flexible than other units. You can blink around, they can shoot down Vipers, but Feels to me like maybe just Zealot, High Templar with the Disruptors and Archons and Immortals and stuff would have been a better swap, but as it is, that the Stalkers were not used the way they should have been by ASTREA. He has to tap out and Dark once again. He does this all the time. He's like, oh, I'm just gonna resurrect myself for the 14th time this week. Oh, I'm a necromancer, except I specialize only in necromancing myself. This is ridiculous. How does he do this? Guys, I gotta go back to that point earlier in the game because this was such a beautiful build. So hard for you to read as the Zerg player. And to me, this really felt like, hey, this is just so game over, dude. You know, ASTREA is so ahead at this stage with the Stalkers. But there was this point where he just blinked on the army and it was so derpy and I cannot get behind it. These trades were sick, runs in, picks off a bunch of queens. Look at the units lost tab. It went from 1,000 to 2,000 in his favor to 3,000. This is a great fight. This is how you want to use those Stalkers. There's a fight about a minute from now, I think it is. And that one just didn't make sense. For a player, I mean, obviously he's trying to go all in. He's like, I gotta go kind of thing. I mean, part of me also wishes he had charge because some Zealot run-bys would have been amazing just to make it really hard for Dark to micro. Robo Bay earlier would have been amazing as well. I kind of get that he wants Storm and feedback because, you know, Vipers are so good versus Disruptors, but I think Disruptors would have been the God tier transition. This is it. This is the blink that made no sense. Now, I think he didn't realize these guys were here. So when he blinks, obviously he thinks, hey, there's a bunch of Ravages with a couple Roaches. And then when he blinks forward, I think ASTREA goes, oh shit, there's an extra like 15 Roaches here that I didn't realize. And I actually am down in army supply now. Obviously his Phoenix are kind of harassing and distracting. He's got the Void Rays there to add some damage. But this was a really bad fight because look at that. Biles take out a bunch of Stalkers as the fight begins. And the Roaches are right on top of the Stalkers, which is exactly the scenario that they usually can't get. And that's why they struggle against the Stalkers. But on creep, up close, personal with those Stalkers. And you can see the units lost before the fight. He's ahead, what, 2,200? And he kills a lot of Ravages. They're expensive units. So he was ahead 2,200 after the fight. He's lucky those Void Rays got out of there. He's ahead 300 resources. So you can see that he's about 2,000 deficit in that engagement. Big problem for him. Now, don't get me wrong. His Phoenix ended up getting him sick value throughout the next few minutes in this game. We could fast forward 5 minutes ago. Hey, his Phoenix were getting great value. But then we also saw this amazing kind of just intuitive little decision of I'm going to add Infestors because I've got a big gas bank. And this was so weird and interesting and unique. Catches the Phoenix. Well, not catches. The Phoenix actually dived on the Infestors. I think really the moment you see the Infestors, ASTREA should have had a third of these guys up here and a third of them here. So that when he A moves, they automatically form a giant concave all around this left side and all around this top side. And that way the fungal bile is nowhere near as comfortable or nowhere near as powerful. Your High Templar can much easier get their storms off. They're not all stuck behind each other, but instead he comes in a ball. And don't get me wrong, the Phoenix lift to disable some of the Infestors was good, but there's too many Infestors. There's still 4 Infestors or 5 on the ground, and they're going to start landing some sick fungal biles. And especially because your High Templar are in a ball and he loses 2 of them to that straight away, he lands not the greatest storms. And every time he pulls back and re-engages, clumps up the fungal really bad. I mean, to be honest, guys, this composition is such a, like, I'm in a terrible position. I need something that deals with the air and the ground. I'll build Infestors because I have gas and they're accessible. Maybe I'll Bile combo this and make it a magic comeback. Really, this is not a solid composition. 1 or 2 Disruptor shots, a Zealot flank, the Stalkers coming in with a 270 degree surround. Any of these things could have ruined his day. And like I said, even here, he has 13 Ravages. You have 30 Stalkers. The Stalkers could have blinked on that and just won the game right there. But ASTREA got bullied back a little bit, and Dark showed this magical ability to take aggressive fights, pick off units, pull back at the right time, push forward at the right time, and do something which Dark is one of the very few players, probably the only player, who would have turned this situation into a victory. Really sick play by Dark. I love it. GG's.